That was a disaster. Let's hope I don't delete it all again. Bond news. We're back. Okay, here we go with the Bond news. Firstly, if you enjoy these videos, shoot the like button. And down there, hit the subscribe button. Or wherever you hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with my videos. So this will be reported by the mainstream very soon. Just thought I'd try and get ahead of it before I heard it on my car radio. With the greatest respect to those media companies, whenever I hear them talking about Bond, it's just so cringe. And that's coming from someone that runs a cringy James Bond YouTube channel. Over the last week, there's been a rumour about Netflix trying to buy the rights to No Time to Die. What I've been hearing is they're looking for the rights to the US distribution. I can see so many problems with this straight off the bat. Like, Universal have the international rights. Would it lead to problems if MGM were distributing it to people's homes while Universal were doing it just in cinemas internationally? Would Eon sign off on this? Is piracy going to be a problem? If someone wanted the US domestic rights, they'd have to pay a lot of money for a studio to forego the profitability of the US market. I know it's not very profitable right now, but it would still take a lot for a studio to forego the potential of that release next year. So that was one rumour. Then another one. It was suggested Apple wanted it for their streaming service. Apple leaned into this rumour by playing the Bond theme during the announcement of one of the new iPhones.
This is iPhone 12 mini.
Speaking of music, Flickshot Music made a really cool Bond theme inspired by Hans Zimmer and the No Time to Die music. I really thought it was cool, so I put it over the clip from the opening sequence. Take a look. I've linked Flickshot Music below so you can listen to the whole piece. Back to Bond news. I've held to this position for a while now, but large blockbuster movies aren't viable to be released on streaming services yet. They are very expensive to make. Our blockbusters now make Game of Thrones budgets look a bit small, and that's 10 episodes of Game of Thrones and one 2-hour movie in comparison. They require a worldwide distribution to markets all across the world where people individually pay €10, dollars, yen, whatever for a ticket. And nowadays, they need to break 1 billion or make high hundreds of millions to be deemed a success. Tenet wasn't considered a financial success, but if you took all the viewers from the most successful episode of Game of Thrones and they went to see Tenet, it would have lost money in the cinema after you discounted marketing, distribution costs and the budget. Sorry, it seems like I'm picking on Game of Thrones this episode. At the moment, blockbuster movies need to be distributed across the world to a larger audience than watch TV. People have to pay up front for it per viewing. And realistically, highly expensive movies like James Bond and Mission Impossible have to offset their production costs with product placement and tax breaks. I know big TV does this too. That's why I'm sort of set on big movies have to be distributed on the old system for now. Currently, the Netflix model suits medium budget films like Aaron Sorkin's new film and independent films that are looking for a distribution system. And that's why with most cinemas in the world closed, we've seen the big budget films not be released on streaming but remain on the shelf, excluding Mulan, which Disney put on their system as a loss leader. But it wasn't completely a loss leader because they charged people extra to have access to it. But there's always been one exception to this rule in my book. The reason I think this Apple news has a bit of truth to it, because MGM is owned by a series of hedge funds. The main one, Anchorage Capital, and they're looking to sell MGM. Only 8 billion if some of my viewers have some spare cash. Ideally, I'd say when they restructured MGM after bankruptcy, they were probably thinking they'd sell to a big player like Disney. But the landscape and the film industry has changed and new players have emerged. Apple are a company with nearly a $2 trillion market cap over 100 billion in cash. They have a new streaming service, but not a lot of content. If Apple bought MGM, it would acquire a whole catalogue of films. Potentially, they have enough money to buy MGM and use the new James Bond movie as a loss leader for their new and improved streaming service. Get people into the ecosystem, as they say. I don't know how easy it would be to convince Eon of this though, but I'm sure money can always solve problems too. So that's what I think is going on. These big players are looking at opportunities and then also looking at acquiring traditional studios to get access to the old ways. Really at the moment, it's only just a rumor. I'm still holding out for a cinema release. But if Apple acquired MGM, it would mean more than just a change of fate for Bond, but cinema as a whole. Don't know about you, but I kind of think it's sad. Here in Ireland, we used to have a huge cinema going population per capita, especially during the recession. I've great memories of seeing movies in the cinema. Sure, the reason I'm a Bond fan is one of those cinema going experiences. I know people talk about the ease of watching a film at home and having your own comforts, but there's nothing beating the buzz of a movie on opening night. In a lot of cases, it actually makes the film better. It's unquantifiable, but it's a big part of the film industry, movie making, the cinema going experience. And we'll just have to see what happens to it. Well, that was a bit of a down note. I promise something way more positive and way more positive Bond news in the coming weeks. But for now, keep safe everyone. Please like and subscribe. Bye.
This is it.
This is it. When her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of you.
James Bond, I've made you redundant.
Not as long as there are people like you in the world.